the recording in here. There goes the encoder. And you are good to go.
All right. Hey, welcome to Terry and Gary's Low Expectations podcast. I am Gary. He is Terry. And that is the man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, baby.
Slater.
Slater.
Hey.
My man.
Thank you, man. How y'all?
Sick of Dom, man.
Man, watch out, man. You know what I'm saying, man?
Look at the shirt I'm
We're
wearing.
just let you guys interact this whole time since it seems like a party every time you guys get together.
Oh, it's
Right.
always a good time.
That is one great shirt you're wearing, Slater.
Oh, look at that.
Big Daddy's Boatyard.
How much are you paying people to wear these shirts?
Can you see that?
Right. Hell yeah, we see that.
It's so good. And it's comfortable.
I know. I'm wearing my Mr. Leahy shirt.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, I'm going to share this up. You guys go ahead and talk.
Okay.
All
No,
right.
the reason why I'm wearing Mr. Leahy for the people that are watching is Slater and I, we'd travel down the road and we'd watch Trailer Park Boys. We watch every single season. What a great show.
Every season, every episode, and we talked and laughed and bonded so well over that.
Mr. Leahy was my favorite.
Mr. Leahy was the man.
There's a shit storm coming.
Dude, and J-Rock,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
The Rock.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, it was a toss-up between J-Rock and Mr. Leahy, but I had to go with Mr. Leahy.
Oh, dude, you can't lose with him.
Right. Hey, are you in your daughter's room?
No, man, I'm in my wife's office.
Oh, okay. I was
I
gonna
mean, yeah, you can see some of that, you know. What do you mean? Every time you come over, you stay in my daughter's room.
I know. I kick her out of the room and take it over. It's a hostile takeover, too.
For sure, man.
She's not that giving of a room. So I have to put her in
She's getting tough, too, so you better watch out when you come back, you know what I'm saying?
Stick a song, stick a dome.
Shake a song, man. Shake a song, man.
Hey, tell one of your favorite movies is what is it where you got that sick of song?
Dewey Cox story, Walk Hard.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Have you ever seen that, Gary?
Yeah.
How about that? It's on Netflix right now if you haven't.
Right.
Oh man, I can just sit and watch that all day.
I might go watch that after we get done.
We should just watch it right now.
All right, just put it on.
Turn it on.
There it is, Gary.
Yeah.
All right, so Gary was telling me that he has a lot in common with you, Slater. You want to go ahead?
Me?
Yeah, me and you.
Yeah, what's up? What have we got in common?
Well, I figured you had to carry him in the WWE. Now I got to carry him here in the podcast. So I feel your pain. I know what you went through.
I wouldn't say carry. I would say let him lean on me.
Look at them shoulders.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Oh, that's funny. So I guarantee you have to carry him on this podcast because, dude, when it comes to technology, he ain't that good at it.
No, not at all.
Found us.
Right?
I'm still trying to figure out how to text message him back.
I just thought it was funny because, like, I like to send gifts out pretty much for everything, you know? Like, I just feel like gifts can, like, you know, express so much without you typing anything, you know? Right. So I would send them to Terry, but Terry would never just get the app and, like, have them all. He would just save the ones that I would send him. And still to this day, he would still send me the old ass gifts that I was sending him back in the day.
Recycle you.
Oh, for sure.
I'd steal his stuff.
Right? That's just funny.
Well, he sends you gifts. He sends me shirtless pictures. So.
Right.
Oh, don't worry, man. I saw all of that.
I've heard the stories.
Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of wrestling fans, you know, like they always wonder as far as like tag teams, do they travel together? Slater and I, we always travel together, and right after we won the titles and stuff. So I found a sucker to deal with me on the road, in the ring and out of the ring.
That's not an easy feat.
Hey, the good thing about Terry too is one of those things that where like he has this little schedule, he has his time, you know, but he always wants to man the wheel. Like, he always wants to be behind the wheel and driving. So I'm just like, cool, man. You know, I'll load up Netflix and we can just watch and listen, and, and you can just drive on. True road warrior right there. Oh, 7-hour drive? That ain't nothing. I'm like, what?
He likes to see the
7 hours?
countryside.
Huh?
He likes to see the countryside.
Oh, over and over and over again. The same old roads. Never gets old.
Well, there's this one story. We had the day off, and we go and we get up and we planned it. Slater feels bad to this day, but it doesn't really bother me. We literally go to we go and eat, and we go to a gas station, and his wallet fell out of his pants pocket in the restroom. So we literally drive 3.5 hours, and we're almost to the hotel, and we stop to get gas, and then he looks for his wallet, and he's like, I can't find it. And then I pulled out the receipt. I go, I bet you dropped it out at the gas station, or you thought you dropped it. And I go, well, I'll call him. And he goes, well, how do you know where we're at? I go, I got my receipt. I bought a water or something. So anyways, I called the place. They had it. We ended up driving 3.5 hours back and 3.5 hours back to the hotel.
Like 9 hours of driving, man. And it was somewhere near on the West Coast going to California, because we were going to go and watch the Dodgers play.
Right.
And that just didn't happen.
Your friend gonna set us up with tickets and all that stuff?
Yeah, man. Like, we were gonna have the whole 9 yards, man. And next thing you know, damn.
It's funny because there was this inland lake, and it was really beautiful in the mountains and all that. And you're doing something live on, you're streaming live. You're like, oh, look at this lake. It's so beautiful. I could stare at it all day. And then when we went back by, I go, hey, Slater, look at that beautiful lake.
I was like, shut up, man. Damn. just deflated. That's actually a lot of damn driving, man.
Yeah. But you know what? It wasn't that bad of a day. We got there. You know, your wallet was there. Everything was in it.
Oh, bro, everything. I even had $200 cash in there. And just good people, man. Found some good people. And they were like, here, you know, and I even was like, here, man, take a 20, you know, thank you. And he was like, nah, man. He was like, hopefully it happens to me, you know, karma type deal. So I was like, hell, thank you so much. But yeah, just good people, man.
Yeah. So what, Dave, do you have any questions for Slater?
I think he's
man.
He's getting his other show ready.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I want to know, so what do you got going on right now, Heath? I know you've been released to WWE, and I want to know kind of what your plans are. If you have anything you can say right now, or.
Oh, bro, I can say anything I want. not really, not that far, but nah, man. Being real, like I have literally taken this time to 100% slow down. Yeah. Working on myself mentally and physically. You know, like my wife, Steph, has been doing CrossFit for, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months now. And then once like the pandemic hit and all, you know, the world got turned up and shit land. Next thing you know, it was like gyms are closing, you can't go nowhere, this and that. So you're like, shoot, you know, I got to stay in shape or something. And like with me anyway, like I like going to the gym, but like there's a stint in time where it was like, I'll go, but I ain't gonna push myself. I'm just gonna go through the motions, you know? Yeah. So, you know, with the whole release and the pandemic and everything, man, I got CrossFit with her, and we've been doing like all these garage workouts, and man, I don't know what it's done, but it's like transformed me somehow to where like, it's like that very bad relationship, but then there are always those good times, you know, because CrossFit sucks. Yeah. It hurts, you know, it's a son of a gun, but it works. Man, like I can honestly say it works. And it's like, you know, I've been losing fat, gaining muscle. I feel good. I've been in a life group with my wife and some of the church people. So that's been cool, you know. So it's just one of those things where like, I don't know, man, I've just been working on myself because like I've never had this much time off in 15 years, you know? So it's one of those things to where like 100% concentrating on me, man. Getting my body right, my mind right. I mean, I'm 36, but it's one of those things where I'm just getting older, man. Yeah. And before, man, yeah, I know. I mean, and I didn't live no relaxed life. Like, I always put the pedal down and we're going, you know? So it's just one of those things to where it's time for me to, you know, be that adult and take care of my damn self.
How bad are you itching to get back in the ring, though?
Oh. Yeah. It's one of those things like, if a cool opportunity comes and I get the chance to get in the ring and have some fun and work some magic, hell yeah, you know, let's do it. You know, if a friend might need help or anything, you know, I might go and, you know, have his back or something. But it's just one of those things, you know. Yeah, it's like if a good opportunity comes and I'm wanting to get in and do that, you know, I will. But it's just I'm not aiming for nothing yet, you know. I just want to let it come, let me get ready physically, mentally, and man, let's attack.
Yeah. What about you? You gonna do some CrossFit?
Who, Terry?
Yeah, wanna do some CrossFit, Terry?
No. See, Slater, actually, I took the opposite route. Once that pandemic hit, I just parked myself on the couch and I didn't move. I watched some of your videos and I'm like, wow, he's really doing, you know, the garage workouts and all that stuff, and the CrossFit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's getting in shape. So I literally sometimes wouldn't even go to the bathroom. I'd grab a bottle and do it.
And he's not
I
lying.
was telling Ryan, we were talking about how, you know, like we get on the road and pee in the bottles and stuff like that.
Oh, bro, of course that happens.
Because once, you know, just you know, for the listeners and stuff, because there's times where I was stuck in traffic in ECW and I would do that, and then I kind of gotten out of that, you know, and you know, that's one of the road stories. A lot of the boys will do that. One time, Tracy Smothers.
Man, all the boys do that.
Oh, right. Tracy Smothers peed in the cup, and he threw it out the window, and Guido's window was down in the back. Guido, he was so mad, and Tracy Smothers felt so bad, and he didn't know, right?
Yeah,
so
he's a good dude.
Yeah, and then I was telling, you know, that one time I remember I picked you up. We were in West Virginia someplace, and I literally drove 6 hours, and I didn't even stop. And you go, didn't you have to go pee? And I go, no, I've been peeing in this monster cup.
Yeah.
You're like, good boy. I broke you of your habit of not, you know, or stopping all the time. So
exactly. So you do get a Gatorade bottle as soon as it's empty. There you go.
Right. Hey, we got to make the towns. Towns don't make themselves.
Trust me, Terry will not ever miss a town unless a pandemic or a meteor or I don't know, like something drastic would have to happen.
Well, I was still making the towns even during the pandemic. I just drive there, sit by the building for about 6 hours, and drive the next time. I mean, the shows were canceled, but you know, I had to get out of the house.
You just had to stay in motion, right?
Right. No stopping these wheels. No. So,
trust me, those are some big wheels on you.
I'll tell you a story real quick. I don't know where we were at, but you know, Slater would always start out the matches, and I forget, you know, you'd go out there, do the arm drags, and, you know, like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat arm drags and stuff.
As good as him, just as good, too.
Good, yeah. Actually, you had a mean arm drag.
That's pretty good.
And he's running all these spots and stuff, and he tags me in, right? And I'm laughing inside, and literally, I grab the guy's arm, and I reach back, and you're literally fixing your trunk, Slater. I don't know if you remember this. And I literally, you tagged me in, and I grab the guy's arm, and I tag right back out. And you go, oh, geez.
No, I didn't say, oh, geez. I said, what the hell, man? And I tagged him, and then I climbed the top rope and jumped off the little arm thing. I'm like, come on. So I ran another little, you know, spot. Terry gets back in there, runs his chop spot.
And I'm laughing. I'm laughing my ass off because he literally just gets out and hey, we had to make those quick tags, baby.
Brother, he Reagan arm after I was in there for 4 minutes, shaking my hips, hitting arm drags and leapfrogs and drop downs, drop kicks. Get him, man. He rings the arm. I'm like, yeah. He's like, what the hell you doing, man?
Gary, what's really funny is you can't not tag, right? Especially in baby faces. So you tag.
Oh, bro, you can't not. I mean, you just have to. But now, if it ever happened again, I'm gonna be like, no,
Turn
we
the
ain't
cheek.
free. Hold on. Do something else.
Hey, what was it like when you won the tag team champion with Terry? What was that? What was that
Amazing.
like when you guys won?
Oh, bro, it was amazing.
Yeah.
There's so many crazy little things that I can talk about with all of that. Like the whole tag team thing was like what wasn't on my agenda at the time because
How'd that come about?
huh?
How'd that come about with you two getting hooked up like that?
Oh, I mean, he came up on the road and I was like a free agent type deal. I was doing the whole free agent thing where I didn't get drafted and all that. And then next thing you know, from the free agent to the whole I got kids thing to where my whole pitch was for me to go back to both brands and have Stephanie and Shane actually respect that and want me, like both of them want me, type deal. Like, no, we want it, But leading up to the IC title, and then I win the IC title type deal, and then I get my contract. That was like where I pitched. And then next thing you know, it was like Terry came on the road. SmackDown was getting like the women's new championship and the SmackDown Live tag team titles. So it was just one of those things where I aimed hit this way. Vince saw this opportunity, and then next thing you know, when they was pairing up me and Terry, man, we just talked, mingled, bullshit, got to know each other, loved each other. Now he's like one of my best buddies. And it was just one of those things to where like the story of it worked so good to where it was so relatable to, just regular people, like just so relatable with the whole, I got kids, I need this job, I need help. And then Terry being, the muscle coming in, be like, I got you back, bud, let's do this, to where it worked out. And I mean, people loved it. It was just, the story was good. The moment was good. And I still remember like one of those things to where like, there's like pictures of it on the internet to when we won it and we got the belts were in the ring, Terry grabbed both of them, and I'm like reaching for one, like, no, huh? And he just, for a moment, he just stops time for me and he looks at me and he just smiles, and he like hands me the title to where it was like one of those good brother moments to where like emotional, I hugged him, it was just, it like set that mood for me. And I still got the picture up in my memorabilia room of it to where he's handing it over and I'm just like, oh, wow, it happened. Like, it's here, like, wow, this is cool.
You're gonna
Hey,
make
can you get me a copy of that? I'd like to sell it at the gimmick table.
Hey, no, don't worry. That's mine. I have to start selling stuff now.
Okay, that's good.
like a
No,
modern love story. I think that's a pretty cool story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do it. We can do a 50. Uh-oh.
Oh, the
Can I
missus.
borrow these for a second? Is that Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hello. How are you?
I'm a little bit confused,
Uh-huh.
Terry. I haven't heard from you in quite some time. I really miss our late night talks.
Well, I'm.
Did you lose my number?
No. I just, things got weird. Slater's home more.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, you remember what time, right?
I'll call tonight.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
right.
Love you.
Love you too.
You put me on this. I didn't know what the hell she was gonna say.
Did she say hi or something?
Yeah.
cool.
She said hi. No,
Oh.
for the listeners, we have a running gag, right? Slater, we'd be on the road.
This has been going on for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe no, probably about 3.5 now. 3 years maybe.
Yeah.
It's been going on for a minute.
Well, because Slater, he FaceTimes with his wife all the time, like, because we'd share a room and he'd get up and I'd always go, tell her I said hi, and she, say hi and all that stuff. And I'd always go, hey, tell her I'm gonna call her at 3 a.m. as if he's not in the room, right?
Yeah.
So, bro, they've been going on a gag like forever. Terry would be like, tell her that I'll call her a little bit later,
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. And then it got to a point to where Steph would be like, tell Terry he didn't call me last night. I'm like, man, here we go. The ribs on me.
Right. But that's good. There's so many stories that we have. I remember the getting back to the tag team. When I knew it was going to work is when we wrestled the Headbangers and the people in the tournament. And Slater got his lip busted up. Well, your mouth.
My mouth, and you got your eye too.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a really good match, and it was one of those things where we got caught a couple times, and it happens in the ring. And there's a picture that I have after we won the match. I'm kind of holding you up, and I've got my arm raised, like the number one, and it's a really cool picture because you got blood running out of your mouth, and on your chest I got blood running, leaking out of my
man,
forehead right here. Yeah,
and that was a little battle, man.
Right.
That was a battle.
Yeah, and it was cool because the people, I remember that match, and the people were so into it and so into us, and and I knew, that it was working, the tag team.
Oh yeah. Oh man, it was working really well.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest with you, I had a lot of fun in the wrestling business. Probably the most fun I've had, was that period. So.
Bro, thank you for saying that. You're gonna make me cry.
That's an emotional show today.
Right. But no, just being on the road and and then being just being in the matches together. And I would pull some like little ribs on Slater because he would get up in the corner. Sometimes we'd be in an 8-man tag or a 6-man, right?
Yeah.
And the other guys in the ring, and Slater would get on the corner and he'd start yelling and getting the crowd into it and stuff. And I'd look at him and I'd go, Capital Thailand, and I'd smack him right in the jump.
My crotch, man. To where, and it's usually whenever I'm like screaming too, I'm like, wow, and he'll pop me up like, ow! I'm like, come on, man.
Sometimes it would fold them over too.
Yeah.
So, but those are always.
There was one time in Europe that happened, and the crowd popped, and I'm like swinging on him on the apron. Crowd's just laughing at us, like, look at these two. Hey, and Terry, man, for some reason, when he's in a tag match, he's so particular. He has to have the damn tag rope. Has to. He needs it in his hand. So he gets so mad whenever we're like in a, tag or a 4-way or whatever it is, numerous people, and I'll take his tag rope, but I won't let him have it. And he knows he has to make the tag next, and I'm like holding it from him. He's like, "Come on, hey, let me have it."
Sometimes there would only be one tag rope, and we would tag with Apollo, and I'd always look at him, and you would start off, I think, or. When you're in the ring, I'd always look at him and say, hey, listen, there's only one tag rope, so we have to hold hands. So I would
hold his hand. Oh, crap.
We also played a rib on Apollo. I don't know if I should say this. We were overseas, and we were in a battle royal, and he was upside down. We were trying to throw him out.
Oh.
And Slater yells out real loud. I won't tell you if we did it or not. You go, stick his fingers in his butt, and he'll let go. And the whole crowd started laughing. And Apollo, I mean, he just started kicking and
he was like, no,
don't.
And his whole body just stuff.
Yeah. Talking about the guy just trying to get out of that situation as fast as he could. And then it was funny because we were laughing and joking with him afterwards.
Oh.
and then he knew he was on to us because the next night in the battle royal,
He stayed away. Oh man, everybody has to look for that in battle royal. So I guarantee you, it's happening way more than anyone knows.
Right. I mean, we take it serious, but there's a lot of shenanigans going on.
Oh yeah, there's some shenanigans for sure.
Right. Remember that one time we were in a battle royal? It was for TV, and it was in Ohio, I think. And then the bell rings, and I grab you to throw you off. And you're like, what'd you try to do that for?
Dude, what the hell, man?
Yeah. There's a lot of road stories. I wish I would have wrote some down. So,
brother, that literally is one of my biggest regrets. And Steph tells me, my mom tells me all the time. And like, I never was good at remembering crap when I was a kid. And after 15 years of wrestling, I'm really bad now. So it's one of those things to where I wished I kept a journal, man, just like matches and moments and memories and stuff. I would acknowledge any kid now starting their career or even just start it now to do that, because I know that I wish to God I did, just so I can just look back and
Do you see
remember.
wrestlers do that?
Huh?
Do you see wrestlers do that now? Does anybody keep doing
I don't know. Probably not. I mean, maybe notes on their phone, because who writes in the book anymore, besides Terry. But
he's got that flip phone.
Yeah, still got the flip phone.
I guarantee he has one in his drawer.
Sidekick.
Right?
Oh, I do.
But I totally would recommend everyone to do that. Just because I 100% know for a fact there's going to be things that you're going to forget, because I'll watch matches on YouTube and I'm like, did I work out? Was that me? And like people would tell me stories to where I'm like, yeah. Like I'll forget, man.
Well, you can't forget the Santa Claus one, can you? Well, didn't Terry run in the ring as a Santa Claus, dressed as Santa Claus once?
No, he did that, yes. When he came back after he punched me in my mouth.
Yeah.
Hey, but did you see him as Mrs. Claus?
Oh yeah,
Saturday night.
Ooh. Those legs, man. Those legs.
Hey, they were getting really white here lately.
Right. But I've been tanning. I've been outside on the docks and stuff. But actually, remember, we fought over who was going to be Mrs. Claus.
That's a fact.
Like, no, I want to be Mrs. Claus.
I was like, no one wants to see you as Mrs. Claus. They want to see me be Mrs. Claus. And he just was like, Adam, no, I want to be Mrs. Claus.
Everybody wanted to see me as Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, I was sexy Santa Slater.
Right.
I mean, that's what the internet said.
Right. There it is. Now let's go how you started. I know the story, but a lot of people that are watching, they wanna know like how you got started in the wrestling business, how you got into wrestling, your hometown, working in front of your hometown. A lot of the questions, that are always asked,
Yeah.
People, like to hear that,
Straight up, I blame it all on my grandfather. You know that. He's the one that took me when I was 5, took me on all these little indie shows where I'm sitting on his lap and I got hooked. He's the main reason I did everything. And of course, growing up, you backyard wrestle, and stuff like that. Well, that was what was cool to do in my growing up in wrestling as junior high to high school type thing, like, yeah, let's backyard wrestle, So it was one of those things where you had tires and mattresses underneath the trampoline, you had garden hose for ropes, and you just had a good time. But
I have it set up at the marina right now.
Book me, man.
Yeah, Gary,
book me.
Right. Gary's coming over. We're going over a match.
Dude, I'll take a body slam in the gore.
There it is.
But it's one of those things where, like as a kid, I always wanted to do it. I had the toys, had the merch, had, just the backyarding and everything. But I always played, basketball, football, baseball also. So it was like I would always, do my sports and stuff. And then on the weekends, if I had a chance, I would try to go on backyard wrestling with my buddies that was wrestling. So it was one of those things where, like, once high school was over, I went to college and I played basketball for Potomac State. It's like West Virginia's JUCO school. And then I was young, dumb, and stupid. And next thing you know, I flunked out. So that's not good. But my buddies that I backyard wrestled with was in Atlanta, Georgia, training as, at a school, WWA 4 at the time. So it was one of those things where, like, I got home, told my mom, she was upset, was like, what the hell? So she was like, well, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? So I'm just like, I want to start wrestling or something. Can I start wrestling? And of course she looked at me like I'm insane. What? Are you kidding me? Come on, think, So then I go to my grandfather to tell him about it. And next thing you know, he's like all for it. Like, yes, I will help you. I will send you some money if you need it. Like, he was all for it. So then he talked to my mom. My mom was like, okay, whatever. Because my grandfather he ran the show. Like, he was the man, in the family, like the glue pretty much. And so I went to Atlanta, Georgia, started training. But I like, my story is so different from everyone else's because I was on the Indies for a year and a half. No, if that, a year and a half, not even 2 years. And I got picked up in developmental, deep south. So it was like, I got down there, wrestled for about a year and a half, close to 2 years, boom, signed. My buddy Crew Jones, he still lives in Georgia, man. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have got into that door because they were actually looking at him. And they said that they wanted him to bring in somebody that, pretty much to squash and make him look good. So he got me up there. And the next thing you knew, they liked me. And then I started, like, working with them and everything on, putting their boys over. And then they say, Johnny Ace gave me a contract. So it was like.
What year was that, roughly?
2000 and what? 6?
Yeah, right around there, 5, 6, yeah. And that was in Atlanta.
2005, yeah.
Yeah. Now, who ran that school? Jody?
Yep. Jody and Bill DeMont was the head trainer.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, what's up?
Johnny Swinger was there, right, for a little bit?
Well, Johnny, yeah, he was. But he was pretty much like, he was like the man in Georgia. Like, back when I was working the Indies and stuff, he was like running the towns, main eventing here and there and all of that. He's a hell of a worker too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wasn't able to go to ROH or TNA at the time, or Triple A or New Japan. Like, I haven't been able to do nothing, because, like, I was there year and some change on the Indies, developmental, stayed in developmental close to 3 and 4 years. Boom, I was on the main roster. So it was just, I never got to do all the things that I always wanted to do. So that's why I always say, like, I got a bucket list of things I want to do, to where, like, and thank God, I was like, I wasn't never stupid with my money, so, like, I invested well, I saved well, I lived below my means. Like, I never was stupid with my money. And 14 years of that, so it's okay right now. So it's one of those things where, like, I'm cool, I'm chilling, I'm working on myself and everything. So
well, sometimes it's really good to reset, regroup, and recharge your batteries, and that's what you're doing. You're being productive with your time, and and you and your wife have been together for a long time, and she's really been a rock. I've noticed that. And
high school sweethearts, man.
yeah.
Crazy.
And that's a team that is really good. And plus, like, now you're still young enough where you can do those things. Ring of Honor, Impact, hint, maybe we won't let anything out, but New Japan and all these other things. And then and the one good thing, you don't have a bad reputation, because a lot of guys, if they develop a bad reputation, a lot of people won't want to work with them. So, you know, you've always, you know, you've always been like the life of the locker room. I've noticed, you know, and people like you around. And
they say you travel with me for 3 years. You know me, baby.
Don't get things going, baby.
Oh, man, they don't lie.
They don't stop either. There's a little joke behind that. We won't get into it.
Yeah, let's don't get into that.
Yeah, Gary's probably going, what the hell did I get myself into? I should have just stick with Comic-Cons and stuff.
Right?
Wrestling.
Hey, I want to try to go to so many Comic-Cons, because I remember in WWE, man, they would literally have like events for Comic-Cons. And I mean, I love that crap. You know, I love it. You know, I think it's cool as hell. And, you know, Lewis, your buddy that you set me up with from
overseas.
He was talking like there's some I forget the guy's name, but a UK Comic-Con coming up.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna try to get on that too.
Yeah, because Gary, Gary does the Pop Fest here in Monroe.
Comic-Con, we had to change the name.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
And
Gary,
Gary,
that'd be cool to do.
Yeah, Gary, you're already booked, kid.
Too late.
Well, see, the cool thing about you know, like people with that are Comic-Con fans or go to the Comic-Cons, they're also wrestling fans. And
yeah.
A lot of the promoters are, you know, I want to say maybe over the last 5 to 10 years have realized the draw of wrestlers. And even I found out horror movies, you know, a lot of those fans, you know, watch wrestling too. And I've done quite a few conventions, and you know, it's you see more wrestlers there, and you know, and wrestling is a big draw, especially in that type of market. So
I guess all we mesh like with the same taste, you know, horror, wrestling, comics, you know, like it all meshes well good.
And I love watching people. I love watching the people that attend these, you know, because they dress up, and it's awesome. Some of the outfits they have, holy cow!
Dude, some of those costumes that they have,
I
mean, thousands of dollars. Has to be thousands of dollars. But I mean, I saw this one dude that was literally dressed up as I can't even think of his name, but he's like the Halo dude. The red robot looking thing. Yep. But dude, he was like 7.5 foot tall, walking in this thing, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, imagine trying to fight that thing. And he has lasers. I'm done.
Just
watch out, man. Yeah. Do that metal, man.
What would Heath Slater cosplay as?
What would I what?
What would you cosplay as, dress up as?
Oh man, I'll dress up as anything.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Miss Claus?
Yeah, anything. Like, I just want to go and have a good time with the people. That'd be a lot of fun, man.
Well, you and speaking of dressing up, you and your wife, you guys went to Halloween parties, and I've seen some pictures on your refrigerators. Now, what have you dressed up at Halloween parties before?
Well, we did one year. Hey, actually, when we won the titles and we were still tag champs, she actually dressed up as me with the legit title. Us walking, her wearing it.
Picture,
and I dressed up as her because she was like hitting the peak in her lip sync sales and everything, and like she got in the book and stuff. So I was like, you know what? It's gonna be me. I'm gonna be you. You know, but she's legit wearing around the real, you know, WWE titles and everything. And I'm like, oh, please don't drop it. They're brand new.
Please don't lose it either.
Yeah. There's not even a scratch on it yet.
Right. People are probably thinking, wow, that's a nice looking replica.
Right?
Yeah.
That, and we did a Cat in the Hat also, to where I was the Mad Hatter. Remy was the little jester cat. Honestly, I don't remember what Steph and Roz was, but they were one of the characters. But yeah, we do like theme stuff, you know, and everything.
Speaking of the Mad Hatter, can you see that boat right there?
Oh baby, I slept on that thing.
Oh no, that's a different one. Mine's just like
You
that.
got another boat?
No, that's
I'm about to say, come on, man.
Bragging out.
two's enough. Maybe a third one, but two's enough for right now.
Ooh. Dude,
But, yeah.
that classic boat you got, like
Oh,
I remember we went chopping around on that thing, and every damn boat on the water is like, honk, yeah, man, nice boat, you know. And Terry's just with his captain hat on, like, yeah, man. Dude, that's just it's like a Cadillac, you know, on the water.
Slater's on the back deck shaking his hips. There was some good music.
Oh, bro.
Hey, you
Like
can't
was
stop him, baby.
I know, right?
Yeah, you can't stop him.
Oh.
We'll get going, man.
They're scared the living hell out of me, though. So Terry jumps in the water. He's swimming around. So I'm sitting there. I'm getting ready. I jump in. I did not know that there is like 8-foot long seaweed underneath. Oh, bro, I jumped in. Cannonball, yeah. I'd go down. This and new. I feel stuff just grabbing me. I'm like, ah! Like, I'm loose. I'm like blowing all my air out like an idiot. Probably 8 feet under the water, swimming. I'm just, oh my God, what's on me? I felt like a damn octopus. Like 4 of them was like surrounding me.
Right. Welcome to Lake Erie Seaweed.
I got so scared.
I grew up in that stuff. Hey, you know what? People were worried about the corona. I told them, I go, if you've ever lived or if you ever swam in Lake Erie and got Lake Erie water in your mouth, you're good. You're not going to get in.
I'm about to say that. That's why I never got corona.
Right. Because you swam in Lake Erie and got some Lake Erie. You're immune to all that stuff.
Still in my pores, man.
Right.
Damn.
You might glow at night too, but hey.
I'm not there yet.
Right. No, a couple more swims in Lake Erie.
I'm about to say, I'm sure we'll have a few more.
Right. Yeah, but Lake Erie, it's a lot cleaner than what it was, but it actually caught fire back in 1969. Yeah, water catching on fire. Yeah, it was that polluted. Yeah.
That's that Flint, Michigan water dripping in there.
Right. It just curved out and went down there. Actually, it was in Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, because back in the day, everybody used to just dump stuff in the water, figured it'd go someplace. You'd change your spark plugs back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
People just throw it in there. Your garbage, they just throw it in there.
What the hell?
You got Ford on the lake. You got all those big companies on the lake. You know, right there on the lake that you know.
Yeah.
Bro, we only got one Mother Earth, man. We got one Mother Earth. Like, my goodness, thank you.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, there was like a reddish tint to it, you know, and then it was crazy, but you know.
And you still swam in it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I would have too. I would have done
Who's
it
this
too.
guy?
I would have too. I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. I got a little twitch here and there, but I'm okay. You know?
Hey man, you got some smooth skin for a rhino too, so like ageless.
Yeah, 3 years in a running, you know, in WWE, smoothest skin in the locker room. Even women didn't even want to go against me because they knew they would lose. I moisturized all the time.
People might think he's lying right now, but he's really not lying. Like that's the truth. Like he had the best skin ever.
Yeah.
Has to be Lake Erie, man.
Right. Chemical bath.
There it is.
So now a lot of people don't know. Slater is also a Golden Gloves. Yeah.
I boxed a little bit back in my day. You know, I wasn't the toughest, but I did a few competitions.
Yeah, won the Golden Gloves too.
Yeah. You know, these hands, you know, they're all right. You know, they're not what they used to be. What's that song Toby Keith sings? I'm as good as I once. What? Hold on. Y'all don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
I think I do. What's the song Cena would always call you out in West Virginia and sing
Country Roads, man.
There it is, baby.
Country Roads.
I'll never forget, we go to West Virginia. We might have been in your hometown. And
Charleston,
Cena was on the show. And you go, and I think we were up second or third, and I'm like, all right, I'm mapping it out. We can get out at a certain time. We could be there. You're like, oh, Cena will probably call me out and sing Country Roads, and he was up last. I'm like, oh man, this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Country
Yeah,
Roads, baby.
We did that.
Roads.
I think we did that twice with him there.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's a cool little moment.
yeah. And then
You guys should sing that.
what's that?
You guys should sing that. No?
No,
No?
not yet.
Take it out with a
Man,
song, you know?
I haven't warmed up the vocals. I haven't been in a band in a long time. You know.
So when did you debut with NXT, and where was it?
2010.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
where?
What do you mean? Like,
Was it Madison Square Gardens or?
no, it was. Bro, I don't even know.
Oh no,
don't-
Madison Square Gardens. You did a run in NXT, and you told me what you got paid, and you're like,
Oh yeah. That's a true story. I remember we did it was on a Christmas loop, I think, and we did a run in, and I remember getting a check, and I was just like, we got paid this for a run in? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Like, what? I said, I'm gonna be rich in about 2 years. Like, I'm gonna quit everything. And then it never happened again. They wanted to hook you, you know?
Our friend Scott Beard said, "Not as good as I once was, but as good once as I ever was."
That's it. That's
Bingo.
it.
That's
Oh,
our
God.
Yeah.
police brother, Scott Beard. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, that's it. That's how
Now-
I feel.
Yeah. No,
But, yeah.
Scott's a good dude. We
Yeah.
actually run shows, Gary and I, up here in Monroe. And would you be willing to come in for one of our
come on the
shows?
spot.
What's that?
Put him on the spot. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I don't mind coming in for shows.
Nice.
You know what I did mess up and did is, like, as soon as, like, you know, the release happened, and, you know, like I called you and I'm like, hey man, this is new to me. What the hell should I tell? And Terry's like, all right, you got a notebook and a pencil. So I'm just jotting that, like, seriously, like, I'm green as dirt or grass. I mean, you know, out here when it comes to all of this, like, I'm just, you know. So I remember calling Terry, calling Gallows, calling McIntyre, or McIntyre actually called me and was like, hey, listen, you need to start doing this, put this in place, you know, this and that. So it was like I had help from 3 great dudes that's been there, done it, lived it, you know, knows how it works and everything. So it was just one of those things to where, like, I was just panicked, you know, whoa. So everyone's like, you know, go to Pro Wrestling Tees, get shirts out, you know, the ones you want to do. Put out an email for bookings and everything. And that's where I went wrong. Pandemic, 3 months before I can make any bookings and this and that. And I put out, like, yeah, you know, if you want to book me for anything, here's an email. Bro, it was just like a bomb went off in there. And I'm just, oh my goodness. And, like, I'm trying to get back to people, and I know I'm missing people and everything and trying, but it was just one of those things. It's like, I wish I didn't put that little email address out there until, you know, in like 2 more weeks from now or something. But it was just one of those things where it was just like, my head just was spinning there for a second. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
We're
The
running
good
out of
thing
time,
about
but we
it
got to
is-
talk about that shirt.
What's that?
What, this one?
No, the one you put out after you got released.
Oh, the I got fired one?
That was some of the best. That was the best shirt I've ever seen.
Yeah. What was great about that? It was the #1 seller too for a little while. Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I wish I saw that.
I think the guy from Ryan from Pro Wrestling Tees told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That is
personally told
awesome.
me, yeah. And so many people hit me up and they're like, "Oh, Slater's new shirt is awesome." I'm like, "What's it say?" And they told me. I'm like, "Oh, that's great," because you know you're having fun with it, you know.
Hey,
And,
hey, before y'all put me over about that, that
Mhm.
wasn't even my idea.
Who's with it?
Kurt Hawkins.
Really?
bro, literally, like, I'm thinking of the whole, like, free agent one just because it
Yeah.
was on WWE, but WWE never did anything with it, all that. So I threw that one out. I threw the old baby one out, of course, And Hawkins was like, bro, you need to switch up your I got kids shirt to I got fired. And, dude, he sends me a, a, a picture. Boom, just love it. He was like, send that to him, bro. It was all because of him. He was a mastermind behind it. But then it was funny because that saying, I'm not a doctor, I just play one on TV. So I sent him, like, this happened like a few weeks ago. I sent him, I was like, hey, you need to have I'm not a loser, I just play one on TV, shirt. So he just put that one out, because he had that losing streak for like 2 years of never winning a match,
Yeah.
So it was one of those things like, totally his idea. Yeah. But yeah, it was one of those things like, I've been buddies with them forever. So it's like, dude, this will work perfect for you. Use it, And then, like, everyone always thinks, oh, Slater always lost and everything, So it was like, I could use this, but I feel like it would work for him more. So that's why I was like, here, why don't you try this one type deal? So it's like, all of us brothers, we try to scratch each other's back.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a good thing, especially nowadays. And I've noticed, a lot of guys help each other out, whether it's shirt or angles, and it's good to be selfish if it's going to help draw money, but a lot of guys really help each other out because at the end of the day, it's all about drawing money and drawing crowds, for the overall product of the show. And
100%.
Another thing that's really good, especially with independent wrestling, the scene is strong. I think it'll come back really well. And there's a lot of great promoters out there. If we run a building, it's the FOP, Fraternal Order of Police, over here in Monroe. And we fit about about 350 in.
350, 375, yeah.
Yeah, and we're packed to capacity. And it's a really good crowd. It's a really good house. It's a really good energy. And, and a lot of promoters really know how to promote. So that's one good thing is, you've always had a character that draws and people, and you're a personal person. So, and being on the indies, you'll be able to meet a lot of the fans you've built, over the last, 19 years, so. So it's you'll have a lot of fun. I know you will. It's great. So just and plus, you've been with WWE 16 years, something
14,
like that. 14, yeah. So you've learned a lot. You've learned the system, and you still got a lot of gas in your tank. And that's a good thing now. And then you can always be an agent too down the road. You can accomplish things in wrestling while you're still young and still do other things that you haven't done. And then you be an agent, producer, creative, and all that stuff. So
I don't know about creatives.
You never know.
Never know.
Right.
But I'm actually I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the future right now because I mean you knew it towards the end, and a lot of the other guys knew it. Like I wasn't, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't hitting the gym. I was burned out a little bit. It was just one of those things to where like it happens in every job, in every profession, and I hate it when people say that. They're like, oh, you were working for the biggest company. How can you be burned out? Like, dude, you don't get it because I guess you haven't been in that situation yet. But it's one of those things where like, I'm very thankful for them. They helped me out a lot. They kept me on forever. Like, it's one of those things where like, I don't have anything bad to say, but it's just one of those things where like, I needed the smack in the face to get motivated, determined, and focused again. Because me being that comfortable up there wasn't doing anything good for me.
Right. And that's same thing with me. I was because me, I like being on the road. When we weren't on the road, I would just be miserable. And and the thing I think WWE sees that sometimes with talent, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually heard this from Johnny Ace when he was head of talent relations. He told another talent, sometimes you got to take one step back to take two steps forward. And I see sometimes, I think, you know, WWE sees guys, they need to recharge the batteries, you know.
For sure.
And sometimes it's better to let them take a step back or force them to take a step back so they can take two steps forward, you know. And it's funny because we were talking about that Mrs. Kloss earlier. A lot of fans thought that they made me do that. But the real story is we fought over. I wanted to be Mrs. Claus, right? Just because it was so ridiculous. And I was a Santa Claus the year before, so we were on SmackDown. So I wanted to be Mrs. Claus.
Boy!
So sometimes, you know, WWE does think the fans might interpret it a different way, but sometimes it's better to let someone take a step or force them to take a step back, so because they become better, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you'll have fun, and we're gonna tag up definitely in Monroe, and a lot of people want to get Slater and you in here. So yeah, we would have so much fun.
I'm already ready for it.
I'll show you how to work the gimmick table, kid.
Hey, honestly, let's have the table, you know, and every picture with me and you in it will split, you know.
No,
because I'm serious. I need help with this because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, the split is usually 70-30, depending on who's been in. Okay, 50-50.
I like that. That sounds good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think we could probably do another hour show. But
what's that?
I said I think we could probably do another hour show, so we need to get Heath on again.
Oh yeah. Oh,
of
geez,
course.
it's been an hour. Wow.
Yeah.
Has it?
You guys just keep rambling on.
Yeah. Slater.
It's his fault. Right here.
Oh, I know.
It is. It is.
But hey, Heath, why don't you tell everybody where they can see you, where they can reach you, where they can follow you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at HeathXXII. Like to tap for me and wifey.
Flexing.
It's not really, but I can. That's my Twitter and my Instagram. I'm on Pro Wrestling Tees, and if you want to try to book me, I'm at bookmebaby.22@gmail.
All right. Hey,
I want to say that's all I got. I don't know. There might be. Oh, I'm on Cameo too.
Oh yeah, I seen that. I was trying to get Terry to get on Cameo.
Yeah, I messaged them, and they apparently I don't have enough followers.
Because you don't Instagram.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, post stuff.
Oh, Slater, you know, when I asked you if you'd do this, and I go, Gary will get a hold of you, and then you go, yeah, Terry said you would send me.
I almost sent it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I figured. Oh, you must work that out. I'm getting my PayPal, and I better text Terry first, see what's going on here. He wouldn't give me that $100 back.
What did you tell him?
No, I literally, you got me too. I'm like, what? I go,
yes.
Crap, I thought we were friends.
I gave you the friend discount.
And it dawned on me that you were ripping them.
Brother, you know what's funny is that I was in the kitchen with Steph, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if Gary and Terry's been talking or anything. I said, so I'm gonna be messing with him for a little bit. She's like, what do you mean? I said, I'm gonna tell him, hey, it's gonna cost you $100. You know, just PayPal me here. You know, this and that.
Terry 200.
Shit, well, no, Steph told me, no, make it 200. So that's what I did. I put 200. But yeah, it was just.
You almost got it.
I can't believe you almost fell for it.
Yeah, and then I literally thought, I'm like, well, wait a second, did he charge Lewis, our buddy in the UK? Like, and then I'm like, wait, what, huh? Like,
I would have laughed my ass off if I saw $200 in my PayPal. I would have been like, how do I give this back to you? Like, how do I refund this?
And then what was funny is I told Gary, I don't know if he did it. I go, I used your line. I stole your stuff. Tell him you were going to pay him $500, but $200 is a deal.
He did. That's
Because
great.
sometimes I would say that to Slater. I would go, "Hey, I'll give you $100 if you go beat up that kid." You're like, "Oh, I would have given you, X amount of money." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have done it for 10.
I would have done it for $25, man.
Anyways, yeah, you
That's funny.
you totally got him, and you got me, man. That was hilarious.
I still
that-
got it, man. I still got it.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that?
So, all
right,
right,
Dan.
thanks again for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks.
Really?
And then tell Steph I'll call her tonight.
3
I
o'clock.
will. I'll let her know.
3 o'clock.
But yeah, let's do part 2 soon.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
get Ryan on.
Well,
Let's get a Royal Rumble group. Let's just get everybody.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, actually.
they're not gonna charge me, are they?
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta talk to them. Next time it is gonna be $200.
Yeah. After being on this show, I'm surprised it's not 300.
Right? It might be.
It might be.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
But
thanks.
yeah,
It was awesome.
thanks
meeting
for having me, man.
Thanks, later.
you. Hopefully,
y'all
we'll see
take
you
care.
soon.
Hopefully.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right, Terry. You still there? You frozen?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
All right.
I should have acted like I'm frozen.
That was fun. You can do Terry. I think
Just act like that.
I think we're still live. So
Oh, all right. Awesome.
Yeah, you turn it off?
yeah, we're good. Hey, thanks everybody. Come back.